I am an American citizen living and working in Australia for Abbott Care Incorporated. I had 4 weeks of vacation time coming, so I decided to take my vacation in the Philippine Islands. I decided to take a month and see every tourist spot there. I was in my 3rd week in the lower part of the mainland at Mount Cristobal, Devil's Mountain, about 107 kilometers from Manila. I was saving the best for last. Always loved anything to do with UFO or paranormal. It was a hot Thursday, and just before the sun went down, I decided to take cover under some big trees for the night, a few kilometers off the road, very close to the base of Devil's Mountain. I can't afford to be seen while sleeping and possibly robbed, for the 20,000 pesos was all I had to last me another week and a half. As the sun went down and a full moon appeared, lighting up the night sky, where I could see Devil's Mountain not that far off. Just gazing at it in the night sky, it looked evil, giving off a very negative emotional response. It was a very quiet night. San Pablo Dolores Road, being 2 kilometers down the road, is not used too much at night because Devil's Mountain being so close. I was suddenly awakened sometime around 12:30 a.m. by the sound of something falling very fast, and as I looked up through the trees, I saw something that lit up the sky for a few seconds, which followed by a loud crash. I assumed it was a meteorite that was burning in our atmosphere until it had crashed into the side of Devil's Mountain. Being very inquisitive, I ran to the base of Devil's Mountain to a clearing, and it was then I could see where the meteor struck the mountain. I began climbing toward the crash site. After about 15 minutes walking up a steep path, stopping a couple of times to catch my breath, of course, I came upon what I thought was a meteorite, but found saucer-shaped craft. It was very badly damaged, with 2, I think, alien beings that seemed to be dead. Gray alien beings that is about 4 feet in height, that is mentioned in all the stories of the alien encounters. Being curious, I leaned over the alien to make sure he had passed on. Just then, another gray alien came out limping out of a huge hole in the side of the saucer. When this one saw me leaning over the dead one, he began to walk toward me with a bad limp, and he didn't look very happy. I could just make out a bad wound on his right leg. I began to feel tensed and worried for my life as he kept limping toward me. As he was just about to grab me, another saucer appeared right over me and the wounded alien. And before I could say, "Oh shit," I was aboard the Alien Spacecraft along with the hurt one, and I think 3 more grays, one of them being very tall and had a very mean look on his face, kind of evil looking. It took me over a minute to recover from the teleportation procedure. The tall one grabbed me and put me on the medical exam table. Well, it looked like anyway. It was very cold to the touch. The other 2 were helping the wounded alien. Just as Mr. Big Eyes' evil face began to examine me, something hit the spacecraft hard. The 3 of them rushed to the pilot's cockpit to find out what happened. The alien grays, well, it looked like they were defending themselves from something attacking them. The spaceship took 2 more hits and started coming apart, and I could feel we were falling. Once the craft hit the ground, it broke completely apart. Being dazed, I soon realized I was no longer paralyzed. I stood up, took a good look at my surroundings, looking for a place to escape from inside the spacecraft. It was like the Greys were dead or out of it for the time being. I found a large hole in the side of the spacecraft and proceeded to escape. I ran to a very heavily wooded area and stopped and hid while the other 2 alien triangle spacecraft landed next to crashed UFO. What I saw next shocked the hell out of me. They were human, not alien beings, dressed like US Air Force pilots, but more future-looking gear. They started destroying everything in sight. After watching them being very aggressive towards the alien greys, making sure they were dead by blasting them with some high-tech ray gun. Totally dematerialized everything that was in sight. I mean, everything just disappeared. I knew then I should get the hell out of there. Fear of what they may do to me. Being a witness to it all, I ran to San Pablo City, got a bus back to Manila, changed my airline ticket for the first flight back to Australia. As soon as I arrived in Sydney, I quit my job and caught another plane back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, my home, and never looked back or talked to anyone about what happened that night. I was afraid to talk about what happened that night until now. This happened over 10 years ago.